Yesterday, life was getting on top of me, and it was just one of those days where everything just seemed to be piling up and getting out of control, and I just wanted to scream. I was just being overwhelmed, and school holidays have just started, so the kids are around, and when you work from home, anyone who did it through COVID knows how hard it is, especially with kids around, to get work done, as well as be around for them. Usually, like in the school holidays, we take a few days off as a family, and we also work on a lighter load for a couple of weeks. And because we're still in growth phase of the business, taking the whole school holidays off wasn't an option at this time. So anyone who runs their own business knows that, if you don't work, you don't get paid. So there's other things where we want to create, we're saving for. So it was our choice this year to work through these holidays. And like, we really love what we do. I really love what I do, helping people with the body code and the emotion code. But in school holidays, sometimes, as I said, the change of routine, it can throw me off balance a bit. And trying to fit work in as well as being there for the kids each day just can get a bit draining of your energy, as you might know. And a lot of our spare time is, it's being taken up spending it with the kids and creating memories, and but the other little bits and pieces around the house that usually get done, and bits and pieces with the business, they tend to pile up, and we don't get the attention they need for a couple of weeks. And there's a few other challenges we have at the moment which are on the horizon. They're just sort of in our vision. They're positive changes, but they still need attention, and they're kind of like a little bit of a distraction at the moment. So the overwhelm of seeing those things come up as well, and having that on my mind as well is sort of added to that overwhelm and that piling up of stuff. And yesterday it just got a lot to me, and a few extra tasks needed to do. The dishes were piling up, the house was a mess, and I just didn't want to face it. I just wanted to make it go away, and I procrastinated for like half the day over what needed to be done. And it wasn't until I was just about to go to bed, I was like, I just need to get on top of some of this so I can sleep and wake up in the morning and sort of have a little bit of motivation to go on to the next day. Because I didn't feel like I didn't have the energy to tackle it. And, I found myself during the day, I was going back to old habits. Like, I'd be just like using my phone as a distraction just to take my mind off it, or playing video games. I've got a little PlayStation. Sometimes I'll bring out and play. I had it out for the kids to play. So I was playing that, and just distracting myself from what I needed to do, because I was just feeling overwhelmed and weighed down, but just didn't have the energy to just that motivation to just get on top of those tasks and just do it. And you know what? A few years ago, my old self would have got stuck in this pattern for weeks sometimes, or months even, just avoiding what needed to be done. And now that I understand that pattern now, and I know when I'm picking up my phone a lot, I sort of catch myself now, and I was like, no, I need to take this out of my awareness and not have that distraction around me. And sometimes I just need to take some just a little bit of time to myself just to rebalance that energy. And feeling that overwhelm, as you know, is such a heavy weight, and it just make you feel stuck. And when I felt like I needed to scream, now, like before, I would hold that energy on and hold that energy in. I'd keep it, and I'd suppress it long enough until I sort of got angry at myself for not taking any action. And I'd sort of get to a point, almost like breaking point. It'd sometimes take, as I said, a few weeks or a few months to get to that breaking point where I needed to move forward, and it was just such a big up and down swing, and I'd need to almost get angry at myself and rev myself up to take action. But now, like when I feel the need to scream and to show emotion, I do it. I scream into a pillow, or into a blanket. Or if I'm driving in the car by myself and I'm feeling a bit angry, I'm feeling a bit anxious, overwhelmed, I'll just scream in the car. So just driving through the countryside, and nobody can sort of hear, and just releasing that energy. And if you've never done it before, you'll understand. You'll once you do it, you'll understand how much it's like releasing almost like releasing a pressure valve. It's that heaviness can just sink, and we can just sort of relax and just like, that's just like that pressure gone. And obviously we use the emotion code and body code on ourselves to help shift this energy, but sometimes I kind of feel like the physiological release of that energy and doing it physically and releasing that energy, it gives it's a lot quicker results sometimes. Sometimes the emotion code can't get as deep as that just that need to scream out or to punch something or just to get that energy out. So the problem is, though, I mean, many people, and I did this myself, I used to do this myself, we take our energy out on others when that build up of anger or frustration or overwhelm, and we get snappy at other people, and you might get angry at your partner or your kids, but that's how you release energy, and you take it out on them. And the problem is that it kind of makes you feel better because it's releasing that energy for a bit, but obviously it's making everybody else around you feel 10 times worse, and it's not around, like, as you know, it's not nice to be around people like this, and it just creates bigger issues in the future with your relationships and all sorts of other things. So releasing that energy for me in a safe way yesterday, it just helped me reset, refocus on what I needed to get done, and I felt like today I've had a weight off my shoulders, and I've been able to, in a much better mood, being more productive and feeling motivated today, just out of that bit of a rut and feeling stuck. So next time you're feeling in that way, that overwhelmed, just have a try and go scream into a pillow or a blanket, find a safe spot in a room where you can just do it, and you can just scream and let that energy out, and then just chill, give yourself 5-10 minutes just to relax and just to get back to balance. Once you release that energy, and I almost guarantee you'll find yourself, it's so relaxing once you release that, and you'll be able to sometimes move through that feeling of being stuck. And I feel like when we release energy, releasing emotions, it's a very healthy way of rebalancing yourself. Because often we're led to believe, like sometimes growing up, that expressing our emotions, especially what a lot of people refer to as bad or negative emotions, are something that we should be embarrassed about or feel shame for showing these emotions, and that's why we tend to suppress them or avoid feeling them. But feeling and expressing emotions is a very healthy part of our important part of our health and well-being. And when we block that flow of energy by not feeling those heavy emotions, they create the imbalance in our body, and that imbalance can create all different types of issues. So the way I sort of changed my meaning around emotions was, obviously all emotions are good. All emotions are positive. We need to feel these emotions. And what I do, how I refer to emotions now is heavy or light. So if they're obviously happiness, joy, when you're feeling those emotions, you are feeling very light and very much in flow. But when you're feeling like those heavy emotions, like grief or guilt or fear and shame, insecurity, that sort of thing, it kind of feels like a lot of heaviness and overwhelm, for example. It feels like a lot of heaviness we're carrying around. And these emotions, these heavy emotions, what they are is basically an alarm system for our physical body to keep it safe. It's a message that is coming up that there's some sort of danger in our environment. And what we need to do is we need to acknowledge and respect this message and try and understand why this alarm system has come up to help alert you to a danger, and reflect on, is there actually really a danger in our awareness, or is it just a faulty program from maybe when we were a kid that we've installed to protect us when we're young and more vulnerable? And at one point in time, this program may have been really relevant to keep us safe, but we haven't, now it might not be relevant at all, and we haven't actually taken the time to reprogram that alarm system that is triggering the alarm. And that's where we can help with the emotion code or body code session, and we can help find the program that is setting the alarm off. And it could be all subconscious and very hard to bring to our awareness consciously. But if you don't know why the alarm is going off, then you can't actually fix the problem. So if you need some help trying to understand the programs that are running in your internal alarm system, book in an emotion code or body code session with us, and we can give you more awareness on why these emotions keep coming up and allowing you to change that program to allow you to live a happier and healthier life. So if you've got any further questions, feel free to reach out. All right, have a good night. See ya.